To receive instant notification each time I upload, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification.
Helping you along the way. Helping you to make it through another day. Yeah, yeah. Everything you need to know that you never knew, that you need to know. Black art perspective.
Hello and good morning, everybody. It's so good to see you guys. Listen. It is Coffee and Jazz with Fefe. However, you guys know that we do have a topic. We do have a topic, and I want to say hello to Deb Woods. Thank you so much for being here and listening while driving. Also, Amy, it's good to see you. I'm glad to know that you are doing well, and I got my coffee too, sis. Hello, beautiful lady, pretty lady Sharon Marie. It's good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. And Betty R., what's going on? How's it going? Hey, William, how are you today? I'm glad we're all in the house having a good time today. So today we're going to talk a little bit about get thee away from thy kinsmen. We're looking at, how healthy it is to sometimes just, back it up, buddy. Get away from some of the people in your family because sometimes the people in your family are the ones that you just have to separate yourself from. And so, what we're going to look at today is the passage where, you know, Abraham had to do that. Yeah, he had to just say, okay, that's it. I think I'm gonna be obedient, and I'm gonna move away, and I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do. But I also want to say that sometimes when we think of that, we have a bit of a problem letting go. Sometimes we have a problem letting it all go and leaving it alone and leaving the family alone because we think about the good times. But sometimes it's some family that does not do us any good. But in this particular case, everybody would have been messed up if Abram did not do what he was supposed to do. So here are a myriad of different versions. And I guess I will go with my favorite. I like the Berean. I don't know why, I just like it. It just says, then the Lord, and we're reading exactly as it's written, then the Lord said to Abram, leave your country, your kindred, and your father's house, and go to the land which I will show you. And that is a very important factor, is that he's asking Abram to be obedient and do everything he can. Daryl, how you doing? He's asking or telling Abram, do what I'm telling you, and I'm going to show you something. Leave your country. That means leave your customs. That means leave everything you know. That means leave the system that you know. Because over in my country, we do it like this. Over in my country, we do it like that. How many times have you seen somebody start a new job? Well, at my old job, we did it like this. In my own country, old country, we did it like that. This is how we did it. And so that creates a bit of a rift. Each one of these key points, the country, your kindred, your father's house, each one of these scream comfort. Each one of them scream comfort level. I'm comfortable in my own country, but yet I know I gotta go. Because don't you ask sometimes, well, if your last job was so great, Sally, why are you here? If every time I teach you the new way that you're supposed to do this here, you tell me about what you did there, then why are you here? That's a good question. Even now, like my brother was mentioning to me the other day, he was like, there's a lot of people that are leaving California and coming to Texas, and they're trying to take Texas. They're trying to take California to Texas with them. They're trying to take all of the how did he say it? All of the restraints and everything that we had in California. They're taking it to Texas. I mean, one brother in California, one brother in Texas. They're both saying, you know what? Yeah, that's true. They're taking everything that they couldn't do in California, like barbecue pits and, running with charcoal and all that. Now they're trying to drag that stuff and vote that stuff in out here in Texas. And that's not working. That's not how any of this works. But that's what people are doing. So the Lord told Abram, leave your country. Did he mean leave it just a little bit? No, he meant leave your country. Well, maybe I can just come back and visit every now and then. No, leave your country. So today we're talking about a complete overhaul for somebody. Today we are talking about a complete and utter overhaul that will get you away from what you know, get you away from your comfort zone so you can live. Get you away from all of the things that make you feel warm and fuzzy inside so you can live and be here a little bit longer and do what it is you're supposed to do. Today we are talking about the complete and unadulterated overhaul of your life, which will also change the lives of those that come behind you and those who are watching you. Sometimes we can be inundated with all the habits and the things that we have picked up along the way that help us cope. And it's those very same habits that we've picked up that help us cope that end up taking us out of here. And so when we consider doing a complete overhaul of our lives, that lets us know that the things that were going to kill us, that made us comfortable, that help us get over that last hump, we got to drop it. We can't drink that much. Some can't drink at all. We can't smoke that much. Some can't smoke at all. We can't eat that much. Some can't eat a lot at all. What is making you comfortable? When every day you get up and you think about, it's time for me to change this, what is it that's making you feel real comfortable? What's making you feel like it's okay today? I'm all right, I'm here. I'll get past it. Sometimes you have to let it all go just so that you can see a brand new you. Just so that you can see the hope that was promised. Sometimes we'll get visions. And sometimes those visions will show us the end of a thing. And they'll make us feel so good. But it's the work from the time that we saw the vision to the vision's fruition that we don't see. And I submit the reason why we don't see the work that it takes to get to that end point. Maybe we would just give up if we did. Maybe we would just not do it at all. But if you know the one that gave you the vision and the one that gave you that hope and the one that gave you the authority to move forward was going to be there with you all the way through and you truly trusted that, would you walk? Would you go? Would you leave? Would you stay? As they sat there at that gate, I love this passage. I love the fact that the common sense, no matter what it is that you get out of it, is if we sit here, we'll never know what's on the other side. There might be greatness on the other side. If we sit here, we know we're going to surely die. So it's better for us to get up, pack up, throw them dice in the middle of the ground there where everybody else got their dice, throwing the dice. Take a chance. Get up, roll out, and live. The best you could be on the other side. The best you could be on the other side of that door. The you see in your mind, the you that you know you can be, that every time she or he tried to rise up within you to walk out and be that great person, somebody you told reminded you, Peter, that you could not walk on that water. Somebody you know that you made a mistake and told. Somebody that you allowed to infiltrate your mind stopped you because you trusted them. You trusted them because of what you saw that they had amassed. You trusted them because of the position that they had grown to. You trusted them because you really truly believed that they had your best interest at heart, when the fact is they had the exact same fear that you have now that prevented them from going forward. And because if they see you do it, they got to tell you what's inside of them by putting it on you by saying you don't want to do that. You trusted them though. But right here, here's your clue. Sir, madam, here it is. Right there. You see that? Look at that verse. And go to the land I will show you. So it's okay not to tell nobody your mindset. It's okay not to tell. It's all right. Because sometimes when that overhaul comes, you don't even know it's time to do the overhaul. How many of you have had to do an overhaul on your vehicle? Did you expect it? You may have felt a little clinker here and there. You may have felt like something wasn't right. But when it went out completely, did you expect it? Did you know it was going out on that moment, at that time? No, you didn't know. But he said, and go to the land I will show you. You see that? Then the Lord said to Abram, leave your country, leave your comfort, leave your kindred, leave your comfort, leave your father's house, leave your comfort. Those are all comfortable things. And I don't know whether you know it or not, but I remember after my birth mother had passed away and I was no longer at home, but I was going through some terrible things, terrible things that I put myself into. But I was going through some terrible things, and one day I was allowed to go back to my father's house and go back to my room that I grew up in. And I got in that bed that I grew up in, and I pulled the covers up way up under my chin, and I just slept. So let's talk about it. Let's be transparent about it. Let's be real about it. But somebody's life might depend on my honesty and my transparency and truth. You never know. You never know. So it was 1983 when my mother passed away. And she had given everything that she could for her children. One thing I didn't like about growing up was the fact that we all had different dads. That bugged me. But when she passed away, what she had given us was an exceptional father in my stepfather, who had raised me from a little bitty girl. He taught me everything. My mother only had about a, 7th grade education. She had to help raise her siblings in Mississippi. There were 8 of them. And so when her mom went to work there at Keesler Air Force Base, my mother had to help take care of her siblings. So she didn't have a very big education. No, not my birth mother, but she was very brilliant, creepy type of brilliant, because the things that she knew and that she taught me were amazing. They were amazing when I look back in retrospect, how brilliant and how, before her time she really was, dying at 35 years old, and she and I being about 17 years apart exactly almost, just amazes me as a mother now when I look back at how brilliant she was. But that's not the piece that I want to talk about. The piece that I want to talk about is the comfort level of even being able to still inhale home and feel her after she passed. So when I was no longer living at home and I had the opportunity, because I was homeless. Why was I homeless? Well, because I had a big mouth. Because my father was mourning and I was mourning and my siblings were mourning. Lee was mourning. My sister KK Harris, she was mourning. I'm naming everybody that's on YouTube that you guys already know. They've been here before. Okay, my other brother Ken was we were all mourning. None of us knew how to deal with the one being gone in the family. And so at 18, having been my mother's caregiver, not a perfect kid, not a rotten kid, but not a perfect kid, I had the audacity to believe that I could do what I wanted to do now that I was experiencing everything I was experiencing. And he at one point said, all right, get out. And he was serious. He was like, get out of my house. I'm not going to deal with this. And he was right for what he did. He was absolutely right. Some would say, well, that's terrible that you would tell your daughter to get out. Well, he was mourning. I was mourning. He was 37. Okay, 38. I was 18, 19 at the time, right after mom died. And there was an opportunity where he had allowed me to come back in the house. And after being out and not being able to do the normal things that I was able to do, the one place that I felt warm and fuzzy was in his home. It was in where I knew I was a comfortable place. That was a place where I could trust that I would be safe. And that's what Abram knew here. He knew his country. He knew his family. He knew his father's household was a safe place. But to step out of that and go to a land where Yah would show him, where God would show him, took major faith. It took major faith to leave that comfort zone. So I know how he felt. Because my daddy said, okay, I'll let you sleep here for one night, but you got to be going in the morning because I got other kids here and you cannot be running around here acting crazy. I say come in at 10, you come in at 12. Nope, you got to go. Hey, I was a girl, but I'm glad he did it. I'm glad he did it. I love him to this day. We have a great relationship right now. Sometimes when you got to get up and go, it will save your life and it will change your life. And it will change not only your life, but the lives of those who will come behind you. Sometime getting out of your comfort zone and going into the land that Yah will show you, sometimes that can be the best thing for you. Being fired from a job can be the best thing that ever happened to you. Being let go from a relationship that you trusted so much can be the best thing for you. And sometimes we want to hold on to that thinking, what am I going to do without it? What am I going to do without that home, that place? What am I going to do? But put your faith in him. Don't tell your business. Sometimes you got to let that Mayflower truck pull up in front of the house, let them cats jump out, box up everything, put it in the back of that trailer, put the key in it, get in your ride, stick your key in your ignition, and follow that truck. And don't tell nobody in the family where you going, because sometimes you got to overhaul everybody. Sometimes you got to get you and your kids and your spouse and you got to roll out. Why? Because sometimes that overhaul gonna save you. And father, mother, sometimes you ain't got to ask for permission to do what you know is right. Just do it. Just do it. Cut it all off. Cut it all off. Cut it all away. Pretend like it's surgery and you're a surgeon, and with keen eye precision take your scalpel and cut out each and every piece of the cancer that you've identified and get rid of it. Is it your Wi-Fi? Let it go. Is it all the tablets that now everybody cannot separate from that's dragging your children and running them amok? Let them go. Is it that cell phone that got too much intelligence where it's so smart you're dumb? What is it? What is keeping you from that vision that you've got? Felicia, Betty, Steve, everybody else in the chat. When I talk to you, I'm talking to me. So let's all reckon together. Let's all reason together. Let's all sit here in a cute little huddle and let's figure this thing out. Maybe we can figure it out together. What is about to take you up out of here? Because we know that if Abram stayed where he was, we would never be where we are. If Abram had not been obedient, if we don't remember Lot's wife, same topography, same place, same arena, same type, where will we be? Where will we be? You got something on your ankle that's holding you back. You got a monitor that don't let you go too far away. You got situations that's holding you back. You got a mortgage. You got a ball and chain mortgage. What you got? Because it didn't matter. If Abram had not been obedient, and if Abram had not left his country, his kindred, his father's household, his comfort, his finances, father's household, finances, if he had not, would we know the story in this world today that is? Think about that. If Abram had not been obedient, look at Hebrews 11:8. By faith, Abraham, when called to go to a place that he would later receive his inheritance, obeyed and went without knowing where he was going. Would we have the promises that we have now? Would somebody else's name be written in Abram's place? Could be. But there is something that you got, and you had something before, and you told some folks, and it didn't come to fruition because those folks started preying on you. They started preying on you. So this time, what you got that really is a lot, you're going to have to do it and not tell anyone. You're going to have to do it and not tell a soul. Yeah, that's what you'll have to do. Because see, when I felt comfortable and I went back and I look back now at my life, I realized, hey, you know what? There was a lot of things that I could have done differently. But when it came down to it, there was a lot of my schooling that I had to pay for, that my father had paid for a portion of. There was a lot of it that I had to pay for. It built character. There was a lot of stuff that went on that built a lot of character. A lot of things that I saw that built character by being away from my dad's house. There was a lot of things that I saw that I shouldn't have done, but I'm glad I did it because now I can tell you, don't go down that road. Young lady, young man, don't go. But in this particular situation, when we consider the overhaul, sometimes we know that the overhaul has to begin with us. Sometimes the overhaul can be a company that says, we're about to close down, and you're like, gee whiz, I've been here 15 years, now what am I going to do? Well, there's been an itch in the back of our minds sometimes, and we're like, well, I know what I got to do, I just got to start over. Sometimes you get to the point where you can't tell anybody else your bad news. Sometimes your bad news can be so bad that nobody would believe it's real. You know what I'm saying? You're like, gosh, really? That just happened all in one day? You could have a Job experience all in one day. You could have a Job experience all in one day. Okay? Rent went up. Okay? All in one day. Rent went up. Plus the toilets don't work. You don't put in 3 work orders. Bathroom jacked up. Rent just went up. Had to get a new bus pass because your car broke down 2 weeks ago. These are things that, no, we may not all deal with on a daily basis, but we can clearly say that sometimes when it rains, it pours. But in that time frame, what do we do? What do we do? Then you say, well, he told me to leave. And maybe all of these things that are happening, that are going on right now, are a clear indication that I need to go. Okay? Maybe all of these things happening in this Job fashion are a clear indication that it's time for me to be obedient, because he told me to get out of here. Something told me to go. Must have been the right place, but it was the wrong time. That's one of my favorite songs. I love the beginning of that song. If I could play it here, I would. I forgot who did it. I forgot the guy's name, but I love that song. It must have been the right place. Who wrote that song? Charlie Sigler. Anybody remember that? I was in the right place, but it must have been the wrong time. Sometimes you could be, it was the wrong time. Yeah. Sometimes it could be, hey, Inger. Sometimes you can be in the right place, but at the wrong time. I went to the store. Yeah, but they was closed. Yeah, I know that now. I went to go get gas. Yeah, but they was out of 89. Yeah, I see that now. I went to the gas station the other day and they were literally, all they had was 93. And I was like, hallelujah. You see that? I was saying hallelujah and everybody else was driving past the tanks looking. Why? Well, because that old 1998 Infiniti Q45, that particular vehicle only takes 93. You can't put nothing else in it. So even in that, he was looking out for me. That's how I see it. Was it Dr. Hook, Melvin? That was the song right there. Oh, Dr. John? Dr. John? All I know is that song was wonderful. Yes. A great song. The great start to that song. You know what I mean? It was, and the horns, those are the real brass horns. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I may have to go ahead on and put that song in here right quick and just give them their props. Let me see, can I find it so that I can add it to the show notes before they jack me, because they like to jack you. Let me see. What was the name of it? Dr. Hook, Dr. John, Dr. Hook. Right place, wrong time. There you go. Right place, wrong time. Dr. John lyrics. Let me see. I like this. I love this song. And I love the horns. Oh, the horns are crazy ridiculous. Let me see if I can use the official notes here. Official stuff. Got to get the official one so that way I can use it. Doubt very strongly if there's a Creative Commons one, but you know, we'll try. No, that's not it. That's not how any of this works. So I'm going to use this one right here. I'm going to kill that part right there. And I'm going to snatch your notes right about there. That's what I'm going to do. Music in this video. Zap it. Take it, copy it, and put it over yonder. Okay? Because I really want to hear this song. Because you know what? Sometimes you got to be in the right place. So you got to always be in the right place and at the right time. And that's what we're going to do. Because if he had not been in the right place at the right time, we have no clue what would have happened to us. Of course, somebody else would have been there. Okay? All right. Somebody else would have been there. Oh, wow. I have limited monetization on this video already. Okay, well, thank you very much for letting me know that. If I hadn't gone over here, then what? I would never have known. I would never have known that I was having limited monetization on this video. Gee, thanks. You can't make this up. I don't understand what I could have said at this point that would have given us limited monetization. But hey, I guess some people have a problem with truth. I'll let you guys see this. I'm gonna let you see because you will not believe this. I literally have limited monetization on this video that we're in right now already. And all I was doing was putting the show notes to put that song in this. Right here. Look at this. I'm gonna make it really big. Can you see that yellow dollar sign? See that yellow dollar sign? See that yellow dollar sign? Because of ad suitability. See that? Ad suitability. Do you guys see that? Can you? Who knew? Could you believe that? I'm sorry, but I just can't. You can't make this stuff up. You cannot make this stuff up. But I'm going to go ahead and keep telling y'all the truth, and that is to forge ahead, to be at the right place at the right time, to do what you're supposed to do to the best of your ability, and then do it better than that. All right? To kick it up a notch and do it hotter than that. All right? Yeah. Yeah. So, and then sometimes you don't even want to tell nobody what you got going on because you already know that the naysayers are going to be the ones that prevent you from moving forward because they have fear, because they didn't do it. They had some great ideas. And with those great ideas that they had, they didn't do what they were supposed to do with those great ideas. And so if they see you with a great idea that you now really seriously want to do, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. And they don't want you to do that. All right? They don't want you to do that. They don't want you to supersede them. And some people don't mean any harm, but it's just who they are. It's just who they are. So it's one thing to say, hey, yeah, surround people, get people in your life, you know, that you can surround yourself with that are good and that are awesome and that are kind and that are all that good stuff. But a lot of people are broken and battered. And right now, you can't afford to have that around you because, well, they will prevent you from getting the ham on the end of your sandwich. What do I mean by that? They'll prevent you from putting the ham on the end of Abram, and therefore you will not have what you're supposed to. Because if Abraham had not done what he was supposed to, he wouldn't have got his ham sandwich. Isn't that funny? I said ham sandwich talking about Abram. I'm talking about ham. But yeah. Abraham, he would not have gotten his him. He would have just been sitting up there, Abram. Huh? But sometimes you got to be in the right place at the right time. Sometimes. That's all I want. Did they give us what we wanted? Let me hear. Let me see. Let me see. I gotta pot up the inside music here. Hold on. All I know is when you hear that part of that song, if I don't care who you are, it makes you go, hey, that's my jam. We got to get in the right place, and in the right place is exactly right, Betty R. We got to get in the right place, and that is in our minds. We got to take that from there and put that where it belongs. We got to do that. We have to do that. We don't have an option. We don't have an option. What we got to do is do what we know that he told us to do. Don't tell anybody about what it is that we're supposed to do, where we're going to go next, how we're going to get there. Don't worry about any of that. Just move forward. You know, we've been talking about advancement over the past couple of months here now. Not talking about retreating, but advancing. And we've been talking about what that looks like. What does it mean to advance and not go back? Because we know that we don't retreat. We know we go forward. We've been talking a lot about that recently. You know, we have. And so what we got to do right now is we got to make it up in our minds that it does not matter when anybody says, I'm not worried about them. I'm not telling them. I'm not asking them for no permission. I'm just going to do what I know I need to do for me. And sometimes, yeah, that can tick people off. It can tick a lot of people off. I mean, just think about just the comfort of a pillow. Tripped out a whole bunch of folks over here with me. And rightfully so, because yeah, there's a lot of issues. I just got off the phone with them. I think that's the reason why, I'm thinking about them, because I literally just got off the phone right before getting over here with you guys. But yeah, just that, because hey, there's a lot of stuff there, and you can't tell people that they got a lot of stuff in their closet because they don't want to hear that they got a lot of stuff in their closet until you try to say, they're like, well, who are you? You're just some little old YouTubing lady. Who are you? You're nobody. Okay, I'm just telling you what the people see. So sometimes you can even take the information that you have to give it to people who think that they are or that they've arriven. And what it does is it causes you harm. I do not know why this is buffering, because I have a hard wire on this show. Always. I'm always plugged in. Never do I use the Wi-Fi. I don't use Wi-Fi. I use the Ethernet. And so with the Ethernet, I guess things that are going into the ether are not making people happy, but that's okay. I think my most important point to that bass line was kicking, wasn't it, Charlie? Charlie said it makes me want to break out a Bootsy Collins record. Hallelujah! Okay, make you want to get up there and throw that on, all right? With that slapping bass. You remember who was the slapping bassman? Let's take the next few minutes and just veg for a second, shall we? Or a few minutes. The the slapping bassman was Graham. That's who used to slap that bass. He was bad, wasn't he? And everybody was running around grabbing this guy's music and grabbing this guy's talents. But I believe that these guys were all just so enamored of each other that when they started to do what they did, they would automatically give homage to the other cat and be like, oh yeah, he was bad or this or that, But yeah, he was rough. He was rough. All right. I'm down with that, Charlie. Melvin, how are you? Let me hug you guys next before we get out of here. I want to say hey to everybody. Before we leave, please, I need you guys so badly. I need you to hit the like button, and I definitely need you guys to leave comments. And if you can't leave a comment, keep trying until you can after we are done. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say. But yeah, I need you. I do. I need you guys for that. Deb Woods, hey. Hey, Amy. Hey, Sharon. Betty, we said, hey. My Crypto Pie, William. Daryl, I love my Crypto Pie. That's funny. Daryl Calhoun and Betty R. Hello. Oz, we love you, sister. Melvin, we love you, brother. How you doing? Good to see you. Of course, my brother from another mother is Charlie Sigler's in the house. He says, good morning, people. Beautiful people of the room. Good morning. How you doing? Sounds so good. Don't you agree? Okay, and my brother Steve Willis, I love you so much, Steve. How are you? I always call him the executive producer of the channel because he's got a heart and he is a leader and he's a bad dude. Okay, I'm just gonna let y'all know right there. Steve Willis, Steve ain't no joke. Steve, that's a bad dude. That's a bad cat. That's a bad cat. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Let's see what you guys got going on here. Betty R, Oz, Melvin, Amy, Crypto Pie, Sharon. Oh, he's giving y'all love. I love it. So you guys, we're just sitting here. We're just chilling, Inger. That's all we doing, sister. We're just chilling. and we're just getting it all together. And we're just looking at the fact that sometimes as we do have to take that overhaul. Alan Davis, where you been? You say, I'm here, deal with it. Okay? I'm going to get a t-shirt that says that I'm here, deal with it. I'm going to have to give you, what, 10 cents a shirt, Alan? Alan said, I'm here, deal with it. What you got? What you got? I can just see you with both your hands raised. You got one hand raised right there, Alan. I can see both your hands. I'm here. What you gonna do, man? Put both your hands up. What you gonna do? He said, I am here, deal with it. That's how you got to come on. That's how you got to come on with the come on, okay? I don't care what you think. I don't care what you see. You got to deal with it because I'm here. Charlie Sigler says Steve Willis is the man. Yes, he is. And that cracked you up, huh, Steve? My love to all, Amy says. We love you too, sister. And we're glad to see that you're doing well. Well enough to be here with us. That is such a good thing. We will deal with it, and it's a good deal, Charlie says, Alan. That's some funny stuff. So, let's see. Do you guys want to have on this Friday night, or do you want to do it Saturday night, or do you want to do it Sunday night? Saturday night or what night do you guys want to do? The members only trivia, the Bible trivia, members only. I think maybe would you guys want to try it on Saturday, so we can have some party, because we can party with it. I don't know. Y'all let me know. But I'm thinking you guys can see it. I'll just stick it up. How about that? I'll just give it a stick up. I'll just give it a stick up. But yeah, sometimes you got to leave toxicity. Sometimes you got to leave all kinds of stuff, right? You got to leave toxicity. You got to leave the toxic family, the toxic friends, the toxic job. You got to do the overhaul. And sometimes when we do the overhaul, okay, sometimes when you do the overhaul, those all of those little nuts and bolts that you see left behind, you left them. They weren't free. Somebody you got to put all the nuts and bolts together. You cannot just leave. You know, let's ask Steve, if you're putting something together that's an engine and you see any nuts and bolts left, does that tell you something, Steve? Because Steve builds. That's Steve is a builder. Steve, and I don't want to say too much, but if you want to put it down there, I'll any of you all who build, but you definitely don't want to have an engine without all the nuts and bolts, right, Steve? You do not want to have an engine without all of the nuts and bolts, even down to a small teeny tiny washer, I would imagine, would cause you a problem. Okay, no leftover parts. See that? See what he says right there? Can't have leftover parts. You can't have leftover parts. Because if you have leftover parts, some part has not been dealt with. Some part is not fastened. There's a part that'll only lean on another part long enough to get it 2 seconds, a half a second, split second before the whole thing goes. And it was one little bitty part. You cannot have any leftover parts. Sometimes you got to get to the side, fix this thing up, do it yourself, get it together yourself, follow Yah's word yourself. Put everything in order. Then you can fuel it up. Top off all of your fluids. Okay? Put the key in. Get your mirrors right. Do your pre-trip inspection. After you do pre-trip, sign off, it's good. And then you can roll out. All right? Then you can roll out. So, overhaul time. That's the time it is. It's time to overhaul. And I just can't wait to see. when you guys start walking, when we start walking in our overhauled selves. Hey, I plan on being a fine 60-year-old woman. Because I'm doing some overhauling. And I plan on having some fine abs, some fine arms. That's what I plan. That's what I plan. But if I let something thwart that, it won't be. It'll just be one of the tries that I've tried. So I'm not going to tell you guys when I'm going to do it. Gave you a clue. But I'm just letting you know that sometimes an overhaul is the best thing. And a lot of times when you do that overhaul, some people believe you did the cheat sheet. But you didn't. You did your thing. And you give Yah all the glory. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here with us today. Please do not forget to hit that like button down below. Do not forget, if you have the ability to share here on YouTube, please do it. If you don't mind coming back and putting a comment in the comment section, I would appreciate you. All of those things help out a lot. You just never know. So I want to remind you guys, each and every one of you, of what we always say here on any of the Felicia Lockhart Group publications, and that is that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of the Most High. You guys take care of yourselves first, and then you can take care of everybody else. And most of all, and most importantly, until we see each other again, please continue to be blessed. To receive instant notification each time I upload, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification.
Helping